this video, we explore the process of displaying the name and first letter of the profession of each person. Hello, I'm Jagan from Grow with Data. I'm posting this video to share my knowledge in SQL language with you. If this assists you in your interview preparation anyways, I'll be happy. Let's see the data set and you can talk about the question in detail. So we are given a table called person. Let's create the table. So this table got a person ID, their name, and what profession they are in. So the person ID is the primary key for this table. We are asked to write a solution to report each person's name followed by the first letter of their profession enclosed in parentheses. So if you see the first record, Alex, so the output has to be Alex, and in parentheses, the yes has to come. So the expected output is going to be Alex and the yes and their person ID, and it's sorted on the descending order. Okay, so the two things we have to understand here. The first one is how to get the substring or first letter of the profession. Second one is how will you combine the name and the first letter of the profession. So these are the two things we have to know. Let's comment this out and start with the basic SQL. So this one goes up. So first we have to see how to get the first letter of the profession. So we just get select, we have person ID, their name, profession from person table. So now I want to get the first letter of profession. What can I do? I can go for the substring of the profession. So what I do, I start with 1 and I need 1 character. As please check. So if I see this, I will get the substring starts with the first position and I get only 1 letter. So I get the first one. So instead of doing substring, I can even do as another function called left. We have done that in previous SQL. So instead of saying substring, I can just say from left, you get me 1 character. Even that will give me the first character of the profession string. Okay, so we can go with substring or left, whichever is comfortable for you. Okay, now the second part, how will I concatenate this first letter with the name? There is a function called concat. So let's use that. I get this equal, and I'll just say concat the name and the first letter of the profession. So I can run this now. So I will get Alex, and the profession is singer. It says Alex and the first letter, but in the output it says Alex. Within the parenthesis you put the profession. So what you do after the name, I just create a parenthesis, and then after the first letter I close that parenthesis. Now if I run it, I get the same syntax, the name followed by the open parenthesis, the first letter of the profession, close parenthesis. So this is what is expected. And they say sort by the profession ID, descending order, right? So order by the profession ID, descending order. So if you see this, we got the order in 1 to 6 from bottom to top. So we get the same. So we don't need to bring in the profession here because it's an asked to the output, right? So only person ID and the name. So we just get the person ID and we rename it as name. So we got what is expected. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Taylor. So all these are correct. So it's a very basic SQL, but we have to think about the edge cases. So what if the data is a little bit of messy data? It's not a clean data. For example, I just bring in another two records where one of the record don't have the profession and another record don't have the name. So if I load this, what will happen? So 7 and 8, if you see, the name becomes null. I have the name, I don't have the profession, but still it shows as null. And I don't have the name, I have the profession. Even then it shows null. So how to fix it? So let's go with the first part. If the profession is null, what should I do? I can just say coalesce function. If it's going to be null, then you just make it as a blank. So that will address Nancy. So Nancy, the profession is null. I replace that with blank. So null and blank are different. So null is there's nothing. Blank is there's a blank character. So you have to see the difference. When you see the data, you don't see the difference because it will be white space, right? You don't see it. But when you manipulate any character, any number with null, it's going to be null. So you just handle the null with a blank space. So when blank space combined with the first name or the name, you just get the name, right? And the eighth one, the name is blank. I can use the same thing. Coalesce function. If the name is null, make it as blank. So that will address the record 8. But if you see this, we don't understand what is D or Nancy bracket. So what is it, right? So to make it more meaningful, what you can do is you can just give a question mark rather than blank. You can just replace that with question mark. So now if you see this, record 7, it says Nancy and the profession is going to be a question mark. And the last one, I don't know who they are, and the profession is a doctor. So this is a much easier way, right? Okay, now if you want to see the code, then you go to the Grow with Data YouTube channel. The playlist, this will be in the SQL Interview Questions. It's a long time I just posted one. So we just have the SQL Interview Questions here. If you go here, you see all the data related to all the videos related to the topic. If you go to the description part, you'll have the GitHub link. If you click on the link, it will take you to the code base where you have all the code. And this one is the 35th video. So you go here, 35. You have the create statement, and you have the first format where you have the ideal scenario. If you all the data is present, how will you address it? And the next scenario is if you have null in any of these, profession or the name, how will you handle it? So we use the blank part of it, right? Handling the null. And the last part, you just highlight the missing data with a question mark. So you can use this data. If you want to join the WhatsApp channel, you have the link here. You can use this and join the growth data WhatsApp channel. So you just see the code. Just this is the better part to represent, right? If there is any null value, you can just put a question mark so that when people see the report, they can understand something is missing there, right? So I will take up the final format of it. The other two formats are kind of addressing the requirement. But the third one, the question mark, is the better way of representing the data. Hope you like this video and thanks for watching.